Everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you for joining me for another Mystery Mystic reading. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Amy Wormersley because you recommended that I do a reading on Claudia Lawrence's case. And in fact, we have a thread running in our Facebook group, Abundant Life Tarot group on Facebook. And this case was, worked on by other members, and they did readings on it. So I wanted to do my reading first, and then I'm going to circle back and see what came up for other people once I have completed the readings that I want to do. And then it's always interesting to see the little synchronicities between the readings and whatnot. So thank you, Amy, for referring Claudia's case over. This is a cold case. Claudia has been missing since, I believe she was last seen March 18th, 2009 out of Heworth, York, England. And she's 35 years old. She was a chef, and this was unusual, according to her friends and family, that she would just disappear. Like, she literally disappeared. They do probably suspect at this point that she was met with some foul play. I'm assuming lots of theories. I haven't done a lot of research. I wanted to kind of go in with as minimal information as possible. So that's what I did. I just went to Wikipedia and did a screenshot of like the little bio area with the picture. That's it. And then I'll do research once I'm done with my readings. All right, let's get to it. So what we're doing right now is we're shuffling. We're wanting to look at the overall overarching energy surrounding her disappearance, surrounding what may have happened to her, who may be responsible. We have factory. Let's see. Heart. Okay. B. Spirit has something to say. I'll zoom in just a moment. Shovel. Okay. And I know that there's this debate on whether or not she knew the person who may have taken her, right? I think her family believes, or I don't know if her family believes, but I saw a recent article because it's been 14 years. March 19th or March 18th marked 14 years this year that she's been missing. So there was like this article about her case and what, if any, updates were going on. And from what I gather, some people feel like she knew this person. Some people felt like it's a total stranger. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to zoom in for a moment. I'm going to show you all. I'm getting a sense she may know the person or encountered this person at work. We've got the factory and B cards. Anything else, Spirit, you wish to share about Claudia Lawrence? Okay, we have door. Okay, move these up here. What else do we have? I'll show you all the cards in a moment. We have will, or we'll do the reading. Anything else about Claudia Lawrence's disappearance? We have mushroom. I'm going to put these back in here. I just need one more, Spirit, for Claudia Lawrence, the energy surrounding her disappearance. Oh, ear. Okay. Okay. Factory. Right off the bat when I saw this, and I was like, maybe it just means she's walking to work or walking from work. But then I saw the B card. And I was like, Spirit wants to affirm for me that this is someone that she either met at work or she knows at work, a colleague, a boss, a customer. maybe, what do you call those people who brings the products and food products and things? What do you call them? Delivery drivers. Sorry, you all, I'm having a rough go of it tonight, grabbing my words. But anyways, factory. I'm getting a sense that this is speaking to her encountering this person at work, or at work, or maybe to and from work. But I really feel like with the B card, this is saying that this is someone that she worked with. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on here. And since we're talking about the B card, let's go a bit further with this. Yeah. This is about social interactions. Social interactions going on. Social interactions that are dealing with matters of the heart. Strong emotions. Somebody having affection for her. An admirer, perhaps. An admirer can always quickly go into a stalker situation. Okay. But on face value, initially, to her and to anyone who was maybe watching this situation unfold, the heart is saying that this is someone who has affection, or maybe she has affection for this person too. Strong emotions are involved in the workplace. This can also indicate an organ failure. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go to shovel. This is someone who has a vested interest to cover this up, cover up the connection that they had together, to cover up what was done to Claudia. This is also, again, indicative of this being someone that she encountered or was constantly around as a result of her work. This card is about doing the work. It also is about uncovering a truth or digging into a situation. Okay, so just bear that in mind as well. It also can indicate someone needing to cover up the situation. All right. All right, so now we've got the door card. This could be, okay, not long after she walked out of her door, she encountered something. I need to look, no, I may need to look at Wikipedia to see if she was on her way to work. And this happened from between door and workplace. Her door, I think she has a colored door. I think it was a green colored door, and it just stood out to me. So this door is colored as well. My parents love to have like a colored door. They periodically change it. It might be a bright red door or a nice strong blue door or like a beautiful green. They're always changing colors. So it's just interesting to me, this door, and sitting underneath the factory. Like she may have not been taken very far. Okay. Somebody had a golden opportunity, a window of time to be able to capture her, because she got off work, I think at 3 something in the afternoon. She was going to go back, I think, the next morning. I don't know if she had plans in between that time, but it was like this sweet space of time that this person who caused her disappearance felt like they had an opportunity. Okay, they may have even been traveling in vehicle with the wheel card. Yeah. The will. I also get a sense with these two cards that she may have been getting ready to walk and go into a different direction, go a new path, open a new door. It could be as it relates to a work situation. Maybe she was going to find a new job, or she was just done with whatever this situation was going on up here, matters of the heart. So she was going to take matters into her own hands and move forward. But this also can mean that wills were involved on her path to wherever she was going, from door to factory. Okay. Why I think this up here, it was a growing problem, is because of the mushroom card. The mushroom card, to me, sometimes can represent a growing problem, a toxic situation. Sometimes you consume something and don't realize that it's toxic. You may have been told and under the impression that it was a benign situation, and then in the end, it turns out it's not so benign. It's actually quite toxic and harmful. Someone you may work with or be around all the time. Okay? Poor decisions. Someone choosing to take a risk. Seizing an opportunity. A growing problem that came to a head that day. And there's, you know how there's eyewitnesses, there's ear witnesses. There's people who have heard some things, and they know some things because they heard conversations. They've heard whisperings of like someone who may have had something to do with it. So like the local village gossip. There was maybe even someone who heard something when someone was perhaps taking her against her will or causing her to do something she did not want to do. So the ear card is saying someone heard something. Someone is aware of the situation and not just the perpetrator. This also can symbolize that at some point in the future, maybe, I'm not quite sure when, we'll see, in future readings if it's revealed when might we get some additional information. This could be about hearing news of more of what's going on. I think because there's been such a heavy focus on, maybe it's someone, they're trying to rule out who it could be. Their sights have not been set on the right people, and it could be people who just is always where she's at. I know she's a chef, and so maybe at the restaurant or wherever she's at, there's always patrons who are there who they're not going to be on the payroll, but they're always constantly there. And they just kind of fly under the radar with this B card. I don't know. There's just something about her work. There's something about her work that she does. I don't know if she moonlights as something else. Maybe she moonlights as something else. Okay, I don't know. But if she moonlights as something else, then it certainly could be related to that line of work. But again, I would need to do a little more research. And like I said, I like to go into these a little bit blind because it just makes it better for my perceptions. Okay, Spirit, what are these shadow facing energies surrounding Claudia's disappearance? Okay. There was some bitterness going on. There was shame, somebody feeling shameful in a situation, someone disagreeable. And remember I said, I feel like maybe she was like, I'm out of here, I'm on my way to do something different. And the word got back, and somebody was like, oh, that can't happen. I'm disagreeable. There was a shame. Either she bore shame or someone has shame. And someone was bitter. Maybe she was bitter or someone was bitter towards her. We also got domineering. There's a domineering energy going on here. And then I don't know why. I don't know who's domineering. I feel like somebody was domineering to her. Could be on that night, or it could be overall a sustained period of time, a growing problem of domination. Domination. Third, what else can you share about Claudia Lawrence? What about her disappearance? Parasite. Parasite. So, you know what a parasite does, right? They attach themselves and suck the life right out of you. They suck the life right out of you. You know, it happens suddenly. You don't even realize it's an issue, and then all of a sudden it's an issue. That's what I was saying about the mushroom. Somebody might have even said, oh, that person's, you know, harmless. And next thing you know, they're not so harmless. They're literally taking your life. And it's a growing problem. This is a growing problem. A parasite, someone who attached themselves to her, or a situation that felt parasitic, toxic, you know. Someone who felt like they had to attach themselves to her in such a way that when it was time to get rid of the parasite, you know how parasites do. They fight for their life. They fight for their way of living. They fight for their host and want to stay attached to their host. So when the threat comes of them being detached, well, that can't be. That can't be at all. So I get a sense that's what's going on here. I know that there's people who are saying that, you know, it's a stranger, and I'm going to keep an open mind. Sometimes it just straight up is a stranger, but it could be somebody who's been admiring her from afar. Spirit, what else can you share about Claudia's disappearance out of England? Okay. What else can you share? I want to do a good shuffle. What can you share? Clues? Maybe when this might be resolved. What can you share with us? Well, this is sad. Additional evidence at the scene may be discovered. Well, maybe there is, you know, evidence that had been discovered that's not been revealed to the public. So that maybe not so sad. A witness may not be fully disclosing all of the facts. That's the gist that I was getting also with the ear card. The ear card has multiple meanings in this reading. Someone heard something about or from Claudia. She was like, no, you're not going to control me, and you're not going to get away with something, or blah, blah, blah. And they had a problem with that. But I also get a sense there was a witness who heard things, saw this parasitic situation, and instead of coming forward with the full story, they haven't come through with the full story. So it leaves it where law enforcement really has their hands tied on who it may be. They might have had hunches over the years, but not enough evidence to move forward. And they may need to, sometimes with these cold cases, they have to literally start all over again and reinvestigate it with fresh eyes, combing over where the evidence was originally found and looking for different clues. It just, it's frustrating, right? It says, the perp is a predator who tracks a specific type of victim. Okay, so could be someone who's done this before or after. Killer has a history of committing crimes. Let's see if there's anything else. If not, we'll stop shuffling this deck and we'll move on. I like to do these opening oracle readings because it helps me. Oh, look at those. Because it helps me to gauge where to go with my questions for the detailed tarot and oracle reading. Sometimes it's pointing out things that seem contradictory in the part one or the opening oracle reading. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like this one. I feel like a sense that she either has been in constant contact with someone on a regular basis through her work. Now, that can be true, and she still not know who the person is who ultimately is responsible for doing this to her. It, for me, feels like she knows who this person is, or has an idea, or there's no secret for her. But this is the card that jumped. It says victim didn't know the killer. Now, this could mean that she didn't know he likely is capable of doing something like this. But actually, he has a history, as these cards say. She may not have been aware of this. It could also mean that this is an admirer who is always around in the workplace, and she didn't really know that this was a growing parasitic problem. Sometimes stalkers or admirers don't necessarily make themselves known, till it's almost too late. Put this over here. So yeah, so then when I do in the near future a part 2, a detailed tarot and oracle reading, one of the questions I'm going to ask the tarot is, what are the energies surrounding? Does she know this person? Tarot will give me the information I need on a yes, more yes or no, or the energies around who may have been responsible. Tarot can let me know if it felt like a familiar vibe or not so familiar, work or romantic. You know what I mean? So these cards definitely help to guide where I need to go next. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to use my Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle. I probably will be doing a part 2, but it may take me a while because I want to take a moment to go through this reading, formulate my questions, and I'll decide whether or not I want to see what my peeps say. I probably will see what they say because I want to see if we see some common themes, and then I can formulate my questions more completely after seeing what people said in the Facebook group, right? On the thread. So Spirit, what are the energies of what happened? I want to know clearly surrounding Claudia Lawrence. What may have happened? Who may be responsible? Okay. Judge, law, legal system. Okay. Bank records, a bank of records. It could be all sorts of things. Her bank records, her last, I think that was also a clue as well. I'm assuming like her bank records show no activity, but there could be bank records that show where she was last at. We have father, children. That's interesting. What else can you share, Spirit, about this situation surrounding Claudia? I'll show you all up close in a moment what we're dealing with here. Claudia. Okay, I'll stop there for now. All right, so we've got this card here. It says judge, law, legal system. And this could be someone tied to the legal system, someone who is protected by the law, someone who's in the legal system. We do know over here, it's said that the killer has a history of committing crime. So law and justice happening over here. Somebody's records, not just her records, but somebody's bank records will tell the tale of being in the same area that she was last. It could be, that something happened in her home or not shortly thereafter she leaving with the door card, or maybe they walked into the door. They had a golden opportunity, this person. This means that they have been knowing her routine. They've been knowing her routine is what I'm picking up on here. We have father. This could represent someone who is a father. Or I don't think it's her father. Lord knows. I'm not getting a sense of that. But it's interesting we got father and children. That someone maybe, they have children. There's a question on their level of involvement. Maybe they even used what do you call it? An alibi. That they were with children, that they could never do this. Their father figure to her. Maybe that's, maybe it's someone who felt fatherly to her. Benign. Suburban. I'm not getting a sense that she was taken very far. I'm not getting a sense that she was taken to a forest area. I mean, maybe she could have. Maybe just, if you look at this image, you see it's a bunch of houses and there's greenery around, but it just, it's suburban. Not very far. Follow the money. Follow the money. Maybe money. This also could affirm this is something tied to her work. Her work that she did or was doing or planning to do, or money, bank records. I don't know. Timeline. There's clues in the timeline. Whenever this card comes out, it's always about paying special attention to not just the timeline of the moments like on the day that she went missing. We're talking about the weeks preceding her going missing, maybe even the months. We're also talking about looking at the timeline following someone who is kind of close to the situation, that they may even be on some sort of audio surveillance or surveillance of some sort, or their bank records would show that they were in the same spot or near her at the time that she disappeared. So it's not just even looking at her particular records, it's about looking at people who are close to her, near her work. Information. Maybe there's a lot of information being held back by law enforcement. I don't know. Perhaps. We have drugs or OD. Overdose. So it could be that there's some element of drugs, partying in an environment where this person is hanging out and knows some things. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Drugs. It can mean that, I don't want to tarnish her reputation, but it could mean that maybe she's taking drugs or partying with someone and maybe witnessed something herself in the past, or maybe experienced something in the past like this. Or it could be that whoever is responsible is heavily into drugs, has a severe problem before, during, and now after. Somebody that is heavily into drugs or whatever may not have the full faculties to make really smart decisions, could make rash decisions. Things that would make a person bitter, if they were sober, makes them, a monster when they're under some sort of influence or something. This also could mean that they look to the people now who are kind of near this work situation in her life and see who's maybe struggling, having a drug issue, because they're trying to still, after all these years, cope with what they've done. We have a karmic connection. I often call this the karmic collision card. This is about two people being on a trajectory of crossing paths. Sometimes it can indicate a more intimate relationship, but other times it's like this was in the cards to happen. Unfortunately, they were on a karmic collision of sorts, colliding with one another. And on this particular day, it was like, the stars aligned for the right opportunity. I don't know if there was a change. I mean, from what I understand, she held a very normal routine day to day, but I felt like there was a change. It's confirmed with the timeline card too. Like there's a change that was mentioned that somebody heard and knew what her schedule was going to be and seized the opportunity. And they knew about this. Why? Because they were at work or near her place of work, near where she was. Now, if anyone knows that she has like a second job or some other kind of occupation on the side that maybe is not her chef's job, let me know in the comment section. Or if you're not comfortable, you can send me email, at mysterymysticmondays@gmail.com, or you can join my new Abundant Life Tarot forum on my website, where I'm now starting to discuss these cases. I put up little tidbits of things I find, little coincidences I see in the cards. I can share pictures. You all can share pictures. It's a great place, because we don't always talk about this in the Facebook group. We have one thread that we kind of keep all the Mystery Mystic Monday stuff under. So, yeah, check out the forum. Check out the Facebook group. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how much longer we're going to go. I do have one new deck, and I'm toying with getting it. Hold on one second. Okay, so I've realized there's a couple of decks that I wanted to use before we go. I got this new little deck. It's called When, clarifying cards. And so, Spirit, is there anything you can give us in terms of when we might hear some more information or a powerful win in this disappearance? Like, what I mean by that is like some information that could come forth, or key months, for example. Okay, so apparently there's gonna be some more information coming out. I know that there was some disappointing news where they thought maybe a serial perp who's, I think, already incarcerated for other crimes. It turned out I don't think that he was the one, is what the latest article I found around the anniversary, the 14th anniversary of her disappearance a few weeks ago, right? So I feel like because now there's renewed interest in people looking at it, family or those close to the investigation may get some information soon, some additional information. And I think it's tied to more clues about where, like, her work, the type, like, this being tied, or someone being tied to her work. We have sooner than expected, June, which I'm recording this May 6th, or almost midnight, so May 7th, June. April is of importance to this case, or to maybe a person involved who has that month in their birthday, or their birthday month. June could be the same. It may not be this June that we get more information, but June, and it's involving a major development or a person's birthday that's heavily involved. But then I got sooner than expected and within 3 months. So that's why I feel like there's going to be some more information coming about the case. I would love to hear that this case is going to be solved in that amount of time, but I just think that law enforcement is just going to find another missing piece of the puzzle that helps bring them closer to understanding what happened to her. I was hoping that this deck would share what may have happened, but we didn't get any cards about what may have happened. So again, it's going to beg the question for me, for part 2 with the Tarot and Oracle reading, what may have happened. Let me just see. Yeah, someone could have gotten very violent with her with that card. We got heart, like some kind of failure, organ failure. Huh. Trauma, yeah. This is upsetting. Some kind of trauma, hurting. I don't even want to go too much further than that. DV, just hurting her. There's trauma. There could be even evidence that's not made to the public or made aware. I don't know. Maybe it is. But there's evidence of some sort of struggle that may or may not have happened. inside her place or just outside her place. Again, I don't think that she's very far from her home. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on here. I'm going to pull some additional cards and we'll wrap it up. If you think of any questions that we can pose for part 2, let me know. Let me know. Because I would love to do a part 2, I'm sure. I have a list. New cases. And then when I feel the need to do follow-ups, I do follow-ups. It may just take me a little while because other cases come up, but I do eventually come circling back if I'm intuitively called to do so. Okay. I'll show you all these cards, and I'll have to take a separate picture when I take my little pictures. Okay, I'm going to show you all these cards too, and then we'll talk about them. Okay. Let me move these. Alright, we got bridge. Maybe crossing like a little air bridge or a little bridge nearby where she's at. Or someone may be on surveillance crossing a bridge near where she lives. Crossing borders. This could be crossing village borders, city borders, bordering, like, you know, in the United States we have states, country borders. I mean, it could be any kind of borders, but crossing borders. Also, this could say crossing boundaries to me as well. Okay, I found this interesting. This one jumped first, 0 to 15 kilometers. Like I said, I feel like she's not very far. I feel like this didn't happen very far from where she lives. And this card affirms that where she lives or where she works. I think she was in walking distance. Her car was getting serviced, so she was walking to and from work. So it was in walking distance. We got 35 to 60 kilometers. Maybe this person who's responsible either lives very close by to her and went this far, or now lives this far away. Something about them traveling this far around for a while to figure out what to do, and they end up just bringing her back. We have here rubbish, landfill, dumpster, trash. I hope law enforcement had an opportunity to check landfills, dumpsters, trash, because there could have been some key evidence dumped. And I even hate to dare say or even envision them putting her there. Oh my God, I just got a feeling. Could have been putting her there. And that's why they can't find her now, and not too far from where her place is. It's even the brick building in the background, like her brick building. Okay. What else do we have here? We have months. This could be, it was important for law enforcement to look at the months preceding records, not just her records, but records of people who patronize the places that she works. Who works there with her, who was fired, or who's always coming in as a customer, or, you know, looking at the months preceding, looking at how people behave months afterwards. This also could symbolize that within months, we may be getting some more information. That would be fabulous. I would welcome that, Spirit. We would all welcome that. City, urban, crowds. I don't know if maybe there's a major city or metropolitan area nearby, 35 to 60 kilometers that this person went to eventually. But I sense they did whatever they did to her and may have placed her in a dumpster or trash, or somehow discarded of her. I'm so sorry. You know, I hope that's not the case. Someone who's a heavy smoker, could be a smoker of cigarettes, weed, I don't know, all sorts of things to smoke these days, right? But some sort of heavy smoker. Yeah, maybe even evidence of cigarette butts needed to be picked up. What else? We have beach and country, wilderness, green, lush. I don't know. Sometimes it could be symbolic of a very emotional, watery situation. Foggy, so you see this fog. But it could be that other key evidence was dropped in these various places. It also could mean that maybe she wasn't taken to the landfill. Maybe just key evidence of an attack may have been dumped, but maybe she could have been taken to a country area that has a lake with a beach, with sand, this kind of sandy dirt, somewhere that's lush. I do not feel, though, that she was taken very far. And then we got group fight. I don't know what this means. It may be someone who's close to the situation or who's been studying this case for a long time. It's a cold case. Maybe you know what this might mean. Group fight could simply mean someone, she was involved in a group fight, maybe not the night of, but maybe in the past. Some kind of infighting going on. It doesn't necessarily always mean physical if it happened in the past. It could be a big group argument, but it also could be a group fight, somebody, ganging up on her. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm just going to shuffle a couple more. Yeah, overseas, local or global travel. This person may have left the area. We got the crossing borders. We have west. They could have gone west. We have overseas, local, global travel. So maybe one of the questions we could ask for the future reading is the person, the perp, still in the area? Solved. Evidence. So it's a cold case, but what's encouraging here is that ultimately it will be the evidence that can crack and solve this case. And that solved doesn't always mean that someone's going to be brought to justice, but it can mean that the answers, getting a better understanding of what may have happened to Claudia, will come to light through the current evidence. I really sense in my spirit that law enforcement needs to have a fresh set of eyes, and hopefully they've already started to do that, like get a task force to really take on this case and really start from scratch. Try to re-interview some of the witnesses again. Canvass for new witnesses. Meaning you can talk to people who were witnesses. Maybe they know of other people that were never spoken to. And that could be the town gossip, that there were people who may have known about this, especially, a group fight situation. I don't know. They may have known of somebody who had information who left. This could be someone who came from overseas, who came from out of town, and they stand out. And they could be the one responsible. Someone who comes from the West or headed to the West. I am encouraged, though, to see solved here. That's going to take some time. And we can always ask, what are we looking at here? How much more time will it take for it to be solved? And will there be justice? Because at this point, I'm assuming that they're presuming that she's passed with all these years that have gone by. So we are hoping for justice. All right, friends, I think we're going to end this now. I got a lot of cards on the table. I'm going to take a picture, as I always do, or a couple of pictures. And you'll see that as we head on out of this video. Please do me a favor on your way out. Hit the like button, as well as subscribe. I do appreciate my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining. And I'm crazy over my old subscribers, my near and dear ones, my day ones. I'm crazy about y'all. So thank you all for being a part of my Abundant Life Tarot family. All right, friends, take very good care of yourselves. We're going to wrap it up here. This was a long opening oracle reading, but it's a cold case, and it's kind of hard to kind of sift through what's being said here. I can't wait to hear from you all. Take care. Bye for now.